in his leg. We'll see if it has an effect as our starting lineups presented by Valvoline. Doc Rivers sending out his usual starting five. It's up for that loss at home in Game 4. And for the Orlando Magic, Nelson and Howard so strong. What kind of game will Vince Carter or Rashard Lewis have tonight? They have been so up and down, mostly down. Although Lewis came alive a bit and had a good solid game in Game 4. Not the case for Vince Carter. And certainly, guys, Vince Carter, they can get away with a win when he has one of those bad games, but for them to win the series, he has to start playing a lot better.
Well, they need his offense. He's the one guy that can really create his own plays with size and also the vision. They need Vince Carter to be aggressive and score on the offensive end.
So Orlando back home where they've been terrific all season. 34-7 during the regular season. They won their first 4 home playoff games until Boston stunned them with victories in games 1 and 2 of this series. The Celtics have been great on the road. They've won their last 4 road playoff games, 2 in Cleveland and 2 in Orlando as we're underway. Carter just 1 of 9 from the field. He had as many turnovers as points, one of the worst games of his career. As Perkins knocks it out of bounds, he told his teammates yesterday, "I owe you one."
I used to love when teammates tell me that. You kidding me?
Pierce comes over to knock loose. And it'll stay the same. 5 left on the 24.
But you can see right now Boston's already more aggressive. Kendrick Perkins deflected the first ball out of bounds on Carter's trying to turn the corner, and then Pierce protecting the basket. Good play.
Of course, the key in Game 4 was the start. The alley-oop. Perkins knocks it away. That's 3 deflections on 3 passes. Celtic defense has been the key reason why they've been so good on the road. Pierce guarded by Barnes, and Carter is on Allen. A switch from earlier in the series. Ray Allen fires a 3, puts it in. He had 5 3-pointers in Game 4 to keep the Celtics' hopes alive in that one.
And you see that action was because of the switch. Matt Barnes defending Paul Pierce. Vince Carter on Ray Allen. They put movement involved and allow Ray Allen to do what he does best.
Nelson lost it out of bounds, was not deflected. Nelson was on the attack all game long in Game 4. Such an important part. And Stan Van Gundy loved the way he attacked. He did point out that he had 6 turnovers, but the key for Nelson is to stay aggressive.
It is, but as on the whole, the Magic got in trouble in the second half because of their poor ball handling, and the Celtics are going right back to the same play.
Turnovers have been a big problem for Orlando. Ray Allen misses. Jameer Nelson tracks down the rebound.
Much better job that time by Vince Carter, chasing down the shooter and contesting the shot.
Carter makes his move. And a whistle and a 3-second violation. So already 3 turnovers for the Magic. They're averaging 17 a game in the series.
And the difference in Game 4, guys were turning the corner looking to score. That time, Vince Carter turned the corner looking to throw it back to Rashard Lewis. He's got to be aggressive.
He's got to dunk that. Keep going and go up over people. You're the one guy who has that talent for your team.
Pierce drives. Blocked by Howard. Here comes Barnes the other way. Lewis, an open 3. Lewis did hit 2 of 3 from downtown in Game 4. Prior to that, he was just awful from long range. Allen posting up Nelson. Nice defense from Jameer Nelson. Still Celtic ball.
It's good defense by Dwight Howard. Paul Pierce posting up the smaller Jameer Nelson. Howard comes from the weak side, recognizing it, comes up with the block. That transition basket, I didn't like. Dwight Howard ran the floor, was wide open, and you settle for a 3-point jump shot. Reward the big guy running.
Barnes, meanwhile, fouls Paul Pierce. And Pierce will go to the line. Barnes had a good solid Game 4 as well. Meanwhile, Pierce, he's already taken 36 free throws in the first 4 games in this series. You go back to the Cleveland series, he took 19 total free throws in 6 games. So he's done a great job of getting to the line. That's where he scores a lot of his points. Boston during the regular season had the 2nd best road record in the NBA behind Dallas. They were 26-15. And now 5-2 on the road in the playoffs. had the unusual feeling of playing from behind in Game 4, something that hasn't happened a lot in the series. They've already had 2 wire-to-wire wins. Carter hits a 3. Carter's already equal his point total from Game 4 with that one shot. Allen inside. Howard alters the shot. Rebound goes to Lewis. The NBA Defensive Player of the Year already making his presence felt. Lewis. It's good.
Exactly what we talked about. Pace, push the basketball, and good things happen for the Orlando Magic.
Pierce sets himself up, and he knocks down a 3. Pierce off to another good start. And his best year shooting from downtown this year during the regular season.
And you see what Boston's doing. Kendrick Perkins is pushing up and trapping that pick and roll, making it harder for Jameer Nelson to turn the corner.
Lewis on the drive, lost it, but got bumped before any shot attempt. Lewis trying to say I was in the act, but the Magic will take it out of bounds. Kevin Garnett picks up his first. Stan Van Gundy obviously not happy, but he was happy with the effort of his team. Game 4. And he's talked about, Jeff, for teams that are down 3-0, certainly a team can come back and win a game, but he felt you really have to believe that you can win the series if you have any shot of extending this.
I agree with that.
Howard inside. Dunk.
And from this point, Mike, I don't think you win a Game 4 on the road when it got tough if you don't have a higher sense of belief that you can actually get back into it and eventually win it. Now, the odds still say you're not going to do it, but you have to have that belief.
It's so easy just to give in. They had a couple of times they could have given in Game 4 as Allen sails it into the first row. First turnover for Boston.
Well, the more Kendrick Perkins pushes up on the screen to trap it, the more vulnerable you are to the quick pocket pass. Good play by Nelson. Good finish by Howard.
Howard had 7 dunks in Game 4. He had only 5 total in the first 3 games as Rondo's called for his first foul. I also like what your brother Stan said, and he goes, hey, no one has ever come back in an NBA playoff series down 0-3, but it's going to happen someday. It's happened in other sports. It's going to happen in basketball. And the only way it can happen if you start by winning Game 4, and that's what the Magic did. Nelson inside, misses, Pierce the rebound.
I think the mindset also has to be, as Rondo comes coast to coast, drawing the contact, going to the line, the mindset is we're no longer down 3-0. So now the odds are better because we are a team down 3-1. So can we do it that way?
Lewis the foul, his first, and Rondo to the free throw line. Rondo with what you would call a subpar game in Game 4. He got in early foul trouble. There's talk about muscle spasms in his right leg. He says he's fine. He did play 43 minutes in the game. And misses the free throw. It's been one of his struggles in his career. Not a good free throw shooter.
I think one of the differences is in Game 4 also, great screen set by the Orlando Magic players, taking its toll on the body of Rondo.
Misses both. Well, this crowd is certainly into it again. They weren't sure if they were going to see their team again. This is the final season they're playing at Amway Arena, moving to a beautiful new arena next year. Carter. Lewis the rebound. Couple of fakes. Banks it in.
But when you're struggling from the perimeter, do that. Get to the offensive board. He had a critical one in Game 4. That's a very good play.
Rondo way off. Ball batted around, picked up by Lewis. Rondo with the steal, the NBA steals leader. Finishes. Set a Celtics single-season steals record, passing Larry Bird and Rick Fox. And they led the entire league during the regular season.
That's exactly what Doc Rivers wants Rondo to do, pick up full court. Doesn't mean that you're always going to get something.
Oh, Howard again.
But again, the more Kendrick Perkins pushes up to try to take away the turn of the corner, the more vulnerable you are to those pocket passes. So like Mark has always said, it comes down to execution. You can take